Okay guys, so today I figured we got a little bit of time on our hands, so I'm doing a little spring cleaning, and I thought I would put together a quick video on what I do to set up my kayak fishing crate with all of my lures, plastics, hard baits like top waters and Rapalas, and all of my weights and terminal tackle, just to make sure it's organized on the water and that I make the best use of space, because obviously space is limited on a kayak. That's kind of your biggest restriction. So first thing I normally do is I have 5 rods with me most of the time. I think I might put one more rod slot here so that way I can carry 2 spinning rods. Might make it a little bit more convenient as far as just having to not change baits quite as frequently ultimately. But so those 2 spinning rods, just show you guys here. So they're basically the same rod. This is a 6-foot 6-inch medium power fast action Avid St. Croix rod. It's really nice rod for finesse applications that involve a little bit more weight, like a 1/4 to 3/8 ounce jig is really nice on that rod. And then this guy here, same thing. It's a St. Croix Avid 6-foot 9-inch medium light power fast action, or excuse me, extra fast action. The thing I like so much about this rod is that tip on it is super soft. So with like a 1/8 ounce drop shot, I used to hate drop shotting. Sorry about that wind noise too, by the way, but when it comes to drop shotting, I always thought it was really boring. And then I switched rods and have this really nice extra fast soft tip, and it made all the difference, really, quite honestly. The other thing that made all the difference is I now use yellow Power Pro on all my spinning rods. I like to be able to see the line when they bite it and move your bait across the water. You can watch it. It's almost like a strike indicator. Moving on to casting gear. This is probably my favorite casting rod from this year. It's a Legend Glass rod by St. Croix. It's fiberglass, so the action on this one is, if you guys don't know, is very moderate. And the thing I like so much about this rod is I fish it with 12-pound fluoro, or I did at least last year. I might go to 14-pound this year, but it is just, you can use a little bit more delicate line ultimately with this rod, and it really absorbs it, so you can keep your bait pretty much cranked down on your reel. But I was using this last year for my sorry about that, guys. I was using this last year for using it on a chatterbait as well as a square bill. This thing is just, oh, it's just a great rod. The action on it is absolutely amazing. It's probably my favorite casting rod for sure. Then the next 3 here are basically the same liner rod once again. So this is a St. Croix Avid. This is a 7-foot medium heavy power fast action. So this rod here I use mostly for throwing moving baits like jigs, or also like spinner baits are good on this rod. You can also throw spinner baits on that the glass rod, which is nice too for that. But just in case, this is kind of nice to get a composite rod for some of those moving bait applications. Really nice rod. Also the reel on this too, I forgot to mention, this is 70 XG Corrado, 8.2 to 1 gear ratio, so it's a real quick reel. The thing I like is it's very small and ergonomic in the hand. It feels really nice. It's just really nice little reel. And then you got your 7-foot heavy. So this is my flipping stick mostly, so when I'm fishing near grass and pads and I'm fishing like a 1/2 ounce Texas rig or a frog or something like that, just where you need to be able to basically rip them out of anything. This thing is just a broomstick. It's an awesome rod. I like it on the river a lot too. Sometimes for like bigger whopper ploppers or top waters, you can just crank it down and just let them have it with the hook. Just fucking wrench them out over there, you know, just wrench them out. All right, then this here is my 6'8" medium power extra fast action. So this is basically my dedicated topwater rod. I throw the whopper plopper on there a lot. It's pretty much primarily it, honestly. On those last two, I have the same reel, just in different gear ratios. So this is a Daiwa Tutula SV TWS. So this is the 8:1 gear ratio. So this one picks up line really quick, so it's nice for those visual topwater strikes when you can see it and react real quick. And this one here, same reel, just in the 7 3-to-1, so a little bit more normal speed. Already showed you the Corrado here. And this one here is the Corrado K. That's a super nice reel too. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier, but this is the 200 Shimano Corrado. Super nice reel. This one here is in a 6:2-to-1 gear ratio, so it's a little bit slower for those, you know, crankbaits and stuff like that. Moving on to how I actually pack the crate here. So I have this little bag from Cabela's that I use. Super handy. You just pop it open like this and you keep all your soft plastics in there. I like to carry, you know, obviously the TRD stuff is really good. I like to keep some, you know, finesse baits, some, you know, stuff for drop shotting, keep some Senkos, obviously, some tubes, and then some swim baits usually. Here's just some extra stuff that I haven't put away yet. Got your craws, obviously the Rage Tail, if you haven't used that before. That's a great one. Or the Yamamoto Flapping Hog, that's another good one. Some more Flapping Hogs. Then I have this guy here, keep spinner baits in. It's nice to just keep them organized in one spot. The one thing I don't like is this box makes obviously a ton of noise, and it's kind of annoying sometimes. You get used to it though. Then I have a jig box, so this is where I keep all my finesse jigs, 1/4 ounce little finesse jigs, 3/8 finesse jigs, football heads in a couple different colors, and some grass jigs. Also, another little thing I do with my jig box is I put these little dry packs in there, silica gel packs in there, and they prevents all the hooks from getting rusty. It seems like it helps a lot with it. At least it's not a foolproof plan, but it definitely makes a difference, at least in my experience. This guy here is just another jig box. This one in here is for moving jigs though, so I got, you know, swim jigs and chatterbaits mostly. So had a lot of luck on the jackhammer last year. It's an expensive bait, no doubt about it, but you know, you only get so much time on the water, and you might as well, you know, be careful, don't lose them. Try not to anyway. It seems like where you get all your fish is right next to wood with these things, unfortunately, but yeah, they're just a great little jig. The thing I like so much is I've tried other swim jig, or excuse me, chatterbaits. Like for instance, this is the Z-Man, well, I forget the name of it, but you can look it up. But so this here's a Z-Man, and this one's like the $8 one, and it works great. But the difference is this this bladed jig, the jackhammer, when you rip it, it starts absolutely immediately. So when you cast it out, hit that log, rip it off the log, it starts, and I mean, you get slammed a lot of times. It'll hit the log, and on the fall it'll get hit and rip it loose, and there's a fish there. Great bait. This one here is a 1/2 ounce. I usually use it in the 3/8 personally, but this guy here is what I'm referring to as the frogs and bobs. Whoa, the frogs and bobs box. So got obviously topwater frogs and bobbers. We also got, you know, just some random poppers and stuff. That's fun for, you know, fishing pads in the summertime. Well, let's get this thing fixed up. I'm gonna take the weight out of it and tip it over. And put this back in there, like so. All right, back in business. So then we got this little Flambeau box that I bought last year. Somebody suggested that I get this, and I wish I would have wrote his name down so I could say thanks, but it's an awesome little box. What I like about it is I was using these. This is a Plano, I forget the name of it, but it's a 3600 water type box. And so these guys here, they're not exactly watertight. They don't, you believe it or not though, they don't really get wet, but it doesn't have that rubber gasket, but still a good, really good box. The thing I like about it though is that when you flip it, nothing moves, so it's all very contained. With these boxes, it seemed like little hooks like this, or weights, or anything that can kind of move around easily would always wind up, you know, three compartments over. And if you're OCD like me, I like to be organized while I'm out there. And then lastly, I got this as a prize at a tournament one time. It's a crank canvas. This is the big hitter size. These guys actually now go by another name. I can link it below, but they're really, really nice. What it basically is a Velcro bag. You unroll it. Oh, there we go. You unroll it, and you can have all of your plastic baits lined up, hard baits. So like all of your Rapalas here. I've got some DTs, some lipless, some square bills, some jerk baits of different kinds. Ouch, that one stuck through a little bit. That's not normal. That normally doesn't happen. Then you get your top waters. I got some walking baits like the spook and the Rapala. What one's this? Oh, the skidder wrap, that's what that one's called. Then you got that's one thing that's nice about Rapala is how they, when you get them, if they have the writing right on the bottom, I really like that. And this one has it here too, saying what size and everything it is. It just makes life so much easier. But anyway, then you got the rat just for fun, some more walking baits, and then obviously you got to have, if you're fishing for bass on the river, the whopper plopper is a must. This got a couple in the 90 size, a couple in the 130 size, and then I took them out of here. But the 75s, I'm switching the hooks out on them this year to see if I can improve the hookup ratio at all. But nice little compact way to store a bunch of baits on the crank canvas there. Fits right in, and you're off. Sorry about that again, guys. But hey, you know, it's a really convenient, quick way to get a lot of baits in a small area. I think I've got it down pretty well. You know, the only modification, I'm probably gonna, like I say, put that another rod holder here, and then I also think I'm gonna have a retractable GoPro mount that I'm gonna probably put on the side here on the front, so that the rods are out of the way, and you can get that nice rear angle shot. But yeah, other than that, it's a pretty good system. I like it. It works well for me. So thanks for checking it out, guys. See you next time. If you like the video, obviously please you know, like and subscribe. Also leave some comments below and tell me what your setup looks like and kind of the actions and everything and the rods you prefer. And I always like talking about gear, you know, it's kind of a fun conversation. So thanks again for watching, guys.